Hello, y'all. Welcome back to the YouTube channel called Walk With Me. I hope everyone's having a good day, and I hope that everyone's able to continue forward on this journey. Hope that we're able to not submit to the evil within ourselves and the evil that's in the world today, but that we're able to advance against the darkness that is surrounding us each and every day. That we're mindful enough to see it and pay attention to where it strikes us. I hope that we have some hope. Number one, I hope that we have some faith and that we're living by that faith and walking by that faith. And that we're in a movement, that we're conscious that we have to make movement, that we have to move. That our faith causes us to do action, that our faith causes us to move, that our faith causes us to change. But the title of this video is called Focus on What You're Becoming and Not on What You Are. And it's it's a thing a lot of us get caught up in. And we see what we are and we're like sometimes like even discouraged or very uncomfortable about what we are at this moment. Right now, dang, like I'm this way, or I'm this way, or I have this sin, or I have this thing that I can't overcome, or this mindset, or I think this way, or I'm very prideful and I'm aware of it. I'm aware of it, and I'm just so focused on that. But don't focus on what you are. Focus on what you're becoming. Focus on the process of becoming. Because what you are now is not what you will be. What you are now is not a thing that's set in stone that cannot be changed. You can alter your being. You have that opportunity each and every day through your actions to alter what you have become. You have become what you are only because the actions that you have done. You change those actions you've done, and you change what you become. That's the only way, though. The actions must be changed. You can't change who you are by just starting to think differently, which is a good thing to do. I'm not saying don't think differently. That will happen, but the actions must change. You are what you are because of what you've done in your actions. And you can't escape what you've become because God is in control of that. Your mind's come to the place that it is today. You come to that fear, that anxiety, that depression, and all of these things. A lot of times through our actions, we come to these things and we arrive here because of what we've done, or things we've done, or actions that we even continue to do on this same day. So what we must do is alter those actions, and behold that you are not what you were. You are not who you are. Is not something set in stone that was given at birth. It's something that's just there, that it can be altered. It can be altered through your actions. It can be altered through your decisions you make each and every day. If you see and notice that you become evil, you can also see and notice and behold, you can become good. You can realize this. You can realize this for yourself through your actions each day with your faith. Changing those actions, seeing where you've gone wrong, humbly acknowledging it and moving forward. No matter the discomfort, no matter the pain that's involved, that discomfort of not knowing what's going to happen, just believe that as you change these evil actions that you've cultivated into your mind and into your soul, it comes to affect your soul. You can, and I repeat this, you can change, and you will change if you don't give up. And it won't be a process that's just straight ahead and easy. It's going to be some setbacks. It's going to be your mind's going to want to go back to the old. It's going to want to go back to its vomit. I was watching a video the other day, and it said, he basically said, a lot of times people start this path, a spiritual path of growing and developing themselves spiritually. And a lot of times people aren't patient enough for God to change their appetite, so they return back to their old vomit. Because they're not patient enough to wait for God to change their appetite, so that they don't go back to that vomit, so that they don't return back to the vomit, so that the vomit doesn't seem pleasing. Because sometimes the vomit can seem pleasing because we're not patient enough to wait for our appetite to change to things that are not vomit but are still pleasing. So we return back to holding on to lust and holding on to pride and holding on to anger and holding on to all these evil things, because the vomit starts to feel good again, because we're not patient enough to wait For God to change that lust to love, to change that anger into compassion. We're not patient enough to wait for these things to happen. And one thing I want to tell you today is that if you want any luck or any chance in advancing on the spiritual path, you must be willing to wait. You must be willing to wait. You must be willing to suffer. If you're not willing to wait and you're not willing to suffer, then you're not gonna go far. Suffering is a part of the path for anyone who chooses this way, especially if they've gone the other way first and then they choose this way. How much more would that suffering be? Jesus himself had to suffer. It seems almost as if sometimes the ones who go the right way, they usually are tested and have to suffer a little bit more than the others. And I'm not saying that will happen to everyone, but I'm saying you have to be ready to suffer. If you're not ready to suffer, if you're not willing to suffer, if you're not willing to go through that pain, that unknowingness, that doubt, that fear, you have to go through it. And remember, as you go through it, that you're not remaining in it, you're just passing through it. Because a lot of times we can forget that we're just passing through. Even in this life, we can forget that we're just passing through. We won't remain here, but somehow we forget that on the way throughout. You're only passing through this life. You're not here to stay. And we all know this, but we don't truly know it in our hearts. We're just passing through the darkness. You're just passing through. It's not an abiding condition or a state that you will remain in. Evil is not your master. Good is your master. You have to remember this. You have to remember that you're free. You have to exercise that freedom. And remember that this is all through our actions. Don't forget the actions, because don't take sight off of what you're doing each and every day. If I say that I believe in goodness in God, but I practice evil, in my actions, I show that the belief I confess with my mouth does not line up with the belief that I show in my heart through my actions. If I say I believe in love, but throughout my actions throughout the day, I practice hatred. I practice these things. I show that though my mouth confesses that I believe in love, my actions and my heart show that I believe in hatred. And I have to change that belief through my faith. I have to start practicing love more so that I can believe in it more. All right, I'm going to end here. I'm not going to say much more, but I want you all to know this, that you can change what you become. You are not that thing what you are today. It's not something that's stuck and set in stone. It's not something that cannot be altered. It's something that will be altered if you believe and you trust and you know in your heart that God will restore this world. God says in the Bible, if my people will hear my voice and turn from their wicked ways, I will hear their voice from heaven and I will heal their land. Again, if my people will hear my voice and turn from their wicked ways, I will hear their voice from heaven and I will heal their land. Again, if my people would turn from their wicked ways, hear my voice and turn from their wicked ways, I will hear their voice from heaven and I will heal their land. You have to turn from these wicked ways and God will do the rest. Thank y'all for listening. Y'all have a good one.